like doing it and having conversations, like I feel 10 times better.
Yeah,
Awesome. Having had those conversations, just like it's cool to realize that, you know, that stuff does help.
You're so much smarter than what
Yeah.
you probably give yourself credit for, but it's always that constant thought of, is this good enough? Am I good enough? Is what I'm posting like relevant? Is it accurate? All these things. And like Michael Jordan frame, you know, shooting that last shot with him jumping up in the air, and in the dad kit, the New Balances on, they're a little bit too big, the visor happening, man. That was just a moment in history.
When I was in Melbourne, my brother came down as well, and we were sitting there and we were just catching up, having good chats, and Jacob's like, you know what my toxic trait is? And I was like, yeah, here we go, what? And he goes, watching sport and seeing them fuck up and then thinking, like, I could have done that. I agree though.
Yeah. I find it so impressive where you see people with a decent amount of muscle mass, but they can move through like massive ranges of motion. Yeah. I find that so impressive because typically the bigger people get, the more restricted they get, which then when I look at that as a quality of life thing, I don't want my body to become more restricted.
Or
just do it.
no.
Am I taking the lead today?
Go.
Oh, huge. He's got the call up. Episode 12, gentlemen.
Smooth. I like it.
Did you like that?
That's good. That's great.
Well, boys, how you been? 2024 is upon us.
Huge.
Massive.
I feel like it's been going forever.
I don't know. We're already like, we're nearly
Almost in Feb.
Yeah, it's almost fair.
Feb. Bigger. How you been, mate?
Yeah, fucking good. Very, very good. I went to Melbourne last week. Nice little getaway. But what?
Must be nice.
You dickhead who go to Bali for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, true. That will,
Europe for like 11 weeks.
that will be nice. Yeah.
That'll be all right.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Melbourne was good. Melbourne, I just love that place so much.
Melbourne's hectic.
So much to do. Like we had a couple of tickets to the Oz Open for the tennis. Saw Demon all play, and the Demon fucking atmosphere. It was actually crazy. Rod Laver Arena sold out. Just like crowd going crazy. It was mad.
Melbourne just get around it, eh? They love sport. They just get around everything.
Yeah, got a bone to pick though. I want to pick it. I want to pick it early. We have this like our culture in Australia. I love it, but it's also like there is this like tall poppy syndrome shit. And we're at a sporting event, and we got this like dude sitting next to us, and it was on the beers. Like I was thinking about talking about it on the podcast when I was there. 'Cause he's on the beers. He's getting a bit saucy, and I was like, you know, good on him. Crowd cheering at appropriate times most of the time. But someone would yell out and be like, you know, Aussie, 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 oi, 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 or whatever, or like, come on, Demon. And I yelled out, come on, mate. And he looked over and he's like, oh, yeah, that was a good one, man. He would have heard that. And I was like, oh, it's adding to the atmosphere, bro. I'm like, it's not about whether he can hear you or not specifically. It's everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got our countrymen representing us, and we're here for him. This isn't about you getting on the fucking beers and turning into a dickhead.
Yeah, that's hectic.
And he looked at me and I was just like, and she was like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh, don't worry. I'll talk to you about it.
He's the bloke wearing the tight white singlet underneath, isn't he? When he goes home.
No, it was just some dickhead from Northern Beaches, actually. That checks out.
Yeah, that checks out.
And his missus, it was funny. His missus was sitting there and she was like shaking her head.
Off it.
Oh, she was off him.
She was off.
So
yeah,
she's
she
off
was
it too.
hectic. So look, other than that, Melbourne's hectic.
It's just that one guy.
Tall
Yeah.
poppy syndrome, the shit that we have here. It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from that sometimes, isn't it?
But I'm in fucking flow. I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
you're-
so much shit's going.
You are
well at the
flowing.
moment. Loving work. Gym's just been hectic. Our
It's been flowing.
community feel at the moment is like next level. Getting heaps of good messages about it, so it's been a blast.
Love it, bro.
What about you?
Love it.
What's doing?
Yeah, same. I'm jumping on your little bandwagon, mate. I'm exactly the same.
Came to Melbourne.
I missed that train stop, unfortunately. But
Off too quick.
yeah, no, same. I feel like we're in a really good flow at the moment. Been a really good start to the year. We had good time off, a little bit of a break over New Year's, which was really nice. But everything's been really good, eh? I feel like we're just finding, like you said, we're finding a really good flow at the moment with our training, with the gym. I think we've just made a couple little changes and a couple little things that is really starting to click, I suppose. So yeah, nothing to complain about at the moment. I feel like we're just riding out the wave now.
Yeah. Is
Just
that
enjoying
delayed
it.
gratification coming through?
Yeah, massively. Even just with our training and stuff too, though, like the direction we've kind of gone in with our training, we're all somewhat very similar in the way we're training at the moment. We're very aligned. We're training together a lot. It's good fun, eh? Enjoying
Run
it.
club.
Run club too, yeah.
Yeah. You can talk about that.
Yeah.
What's
Saturday run clubs now.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Why'd we bring that in? Love it. Why we did, but
Well, yeah, it just pretty much aligns with exactly what we're all doing at the moment. We're all running more. We all enjoy running. There's obviously so many added benefits to running for everyone's health. But I just think we just thought it replaced the class on Saturdays a lot better.
yeah.
And I think it has.
Which is really cool. I'll add to this because episode 10 or 11, we talked about goal setting. And I didn't say any of my goals, but one of my goals was actually to run a 10K pain-free this year, which I did with PSO and Reese a week or 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, about that.
2 weeks ago. So it was a very early goal that we hit. But even listening back to our other podcast, we were talking about our training splits, and I was talking about how I was just getting back into running because I had a niggling knee injury and I couldn't run for 10, 15 minutes without being in pain. So to look back at that being a couple of months ago and now looking that I've started 2024 with 10K pain free is pretty
goal of
wicked.
mine as well.
Yeah, that's huge.
He's both ticked it off.
Yeah. So
Fuck, I'm letting the team down.
You ran a half marathon.
you ran a half
first day of the year.
marathon. You literally ran more than what both of us did together. You ran a kilometre more in the day.
Oh, seriously. And Bree, didn't she do it as well?
Yeah, her first one too, yeah.
Animals. You animals. Which, speaking of that, how are you, mate?
I'm good. 2024 probably hasn't been the best start for me. Just the business last year ended well, and I think starting into the new year, it's picked up as well. But I think it's just got caught up in the moment, a little bit of a self-confidence within myself, backing myself a little bit, had to take a step back, have some conversations with close mates, yourselves. And I think moving forward, it's going to be a great year.
I completely
It's
agree.
just, yeah, different start, but I think it's probably the best start in hindsight. It'll work out to be probably one of my best years.
Internal reflections like that always externally come out to be a positive.
Yeah, and I think it's like at the back end of years, you're like, oh, new year next year, like everything will be sweet, but it's just like it's another day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so it's not like it's not going to turn over to January and we'll be like, sweet, all 2023's problems, out the window.
They carry over.
Let's.
When you start growing in relationships and business and everything too, they all come with their own steps of challenges that that you start to face, different responsibilities, different things that bring different things to the surfaces probably too, that makes you start to even question directions you want to go in or how things feel and stuff like that. So
It's the only way to touch on what you said there, the self-confidence thing, because I've had that definitely in the past as well, and I still do. But the only way you can get better at something is, I think, bringing it to awareness first and like owning that thing.
Yeah.
You could easily be like having these feelings, but I'm not going to address them. Like we spoke about, I'm just going to push them to the side or whatever. But they just build over time.
Yeah.
And I think at some point you have to have the courage or bravery or whatever you want to call it to hit it on the head. And whether that involves doing it yourself, generally talking to someone about it is good. And people that are in the same space as you as well. So yeah, you've done the hard thing. Now just moving
And
forward.
I think we've talked about in previous podcasts, for mental health and stuff, and I've always said I never struggled with it, and I still don't think I really have. But it's I've never had the problem where I've had to voice something because it's been holding me back. But doing it and having conversations, I feel 10 times better.
Yeah.
awesome.
Having had those conversations, just it's cool to realize that that stuff does help.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing reflecting on that too, talking about confidence. I think in one of our first episodes I brought up about imposter syndrome. And we talked about that, and I think all at one point we've probably felt that at some point, of whether we're progressing in business or with educational content we put out or anything like that. And I think based off what you're saying as well, it's you finding your feet with that confidence of getting out of that feeling, because you're so much smarter than what you probably give yourself credit for. But it's always that constant thought of, is this good enough? Am I good enough? Is what I'm posting relevant? Is it accurate? All these things. And
worthiness.
Whether that falls,
Yeah.
worthiness, whether that falls into that imposter syndrome or not, but it's
I think
just a
probably,
label.
That's probably a great way to put it. Yeah, like it probably is a bit of that.
But it's cool to see that we talked about that again in episode 1 or 2, and to see how far we're all coming, especially you. I think you're absolutely right, man. 2024 is going to be huge.
Doing.
Year of doing. Look at that.
and traveling.
Acting
Yeah.
on Verba.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Bridget,
New
your
ink
tat.
too.
Look at that. Show the
Dark
camera.
rod.
Yep.
Huge.
Acta non verba. It's probably my favorite line from the Stoic space or Stoicism, but it's Latin for deeds, not words. And I try to live by it as much as I can.
That you do.
I'm human. There's times when I don't, but yeah, I think majority of the time I do, and I think it's a good message. So I got it in that position there. I actually liked where Jaden's was. He's got balance there.
Good reminders. It's good.
Yeah, it is. It's just like,
It's like a post-it note.
yeah, rather than just like talking
You can
about
just sort of look down at it.
things that we're going to do in our life, like I think just do it, and you know the proof ends up being in the pudding. When you look back, or people look back, and yeah, you've only got one fucking life, so you might as well have a crack at it.
I find it funny when people get tattoos like that. Is like, it seems like a message to themselves, but it might be on their back or something. I'm like,
Can't read it.
can't read that.
Yeah,
And
no.
I'm like, I'm reading. I'm like, it's a great message if you're sending it to me. I'm like, fantastic. But in my head, I'm like, are you wanting to remind yourself of that? Because it's
You're
in
gonna
a
be in the
spot
mirror.
that's going to be, yeah, every time you're looking in the mirror, you're like, but it's a, oh shit, that's right. Verba non-verba ducta.
Yeah, well, that's actually why I got it there as well. Because I mean, even today, I was running today, and it wasn't a super hard run, but like you just look down, and it's
Always a reminder.
it's a good driver. It's a good driver. Yeah.
Maybe I'll join the team. Maybe I'll get something
Mate, please do.
when I'm in Bali.
Oh, bro, yes.
So I'm thinking of it. PW.
PWYP.
PWY.
Yeah, I actually would probably get that in Bali. Practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach. That's a good one. That could go.
Yeah, it was
What's
like-
more important than balance? Under it or above it?
Oh, somewhere in there. Maybe just go a different arm over there somewhere. Maybe on the wrist.
We're
Heaps
pretty
of
much
things.
tattoo guys now.
Big tattoo.
guys.
A leather vest and
Big tattoo guys.
Maybe I'll come back with it like here on teardrop or something.
Yeah, the teardrop. Fuck it.
doesn't mean you've killed someone. Yeah, probably not. Hey,
Let's not do that.
yeah.
Someone approaches me about it, I just go to water. Just,
I'm sorry. Get it removed now.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
All right.
All right, first topic.
Chit chat from us.
Sorry. Something I've been doing, I was going to say lately, it's Thursday, so 4 days.
It has been lately.
So
Yeah.
lately. I've been trying to focus on a bit more mobility, flexibility. So actively doing 30 minutes of stretching outside of gym time. What are your thoughts on the benefits, or if you would do it, or programming wise, for flexibility / mobility work?
It's such a good question, because I've always mainly driven the message to my clients in the past that you're probably going to unlock the ranges of different muscle groups through taking them through the biggest range possible. So like I like an RDL for an example. Like a lot of people are fairly restricted. Not a lot of people, but some people are kind of restricted on that movement. And I don't know, man, like I've always found like progressing well in a strength-based lift like that, getting better at it and finding, and maybe week on week exploring a little bit of a deeper range, like that mobility ends up being there. So I've never been one that's like programmed it for my clients. I've always just really heavily encouraged them to train through a full range of motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's these questions. It's a great question. It's always it depends for me. It's context. So, is direct mobility and flexibility training or exercise necessary? No, I'd probably say it's not. Is it important? Well, it depends on the context. For me personally, so I think there's definitely space for it. I think it's super important depending on what you're doing. So, for example, if you're doing a sport like rugby or a Muay Thai or something like that, and you're noticing that there's a range that you can't get to, and a certain movement that you need to perform, and it's not a matter of like performing an RDL, which is more of a closed chain environment, you know, where you can just go through a hinging pattern. If it's something else where there's more rotational movement involved, or hip flexion into whatever it is, then mobility might help. Then it's worth putting in something like that to help get to those ranges and potentially stay injury free as well. In terms of longevity, I think it's a good idea to take joints through big ranges of motion, or the ranges of motion that's possible. So I think it always depends. Like, I don't think it's necessary. If it makes you feel good, excellent. Then I think then it's a great idea to add in, and if it helps benefit what you're already doing, great, throw it in. I think it's that conversation of people being like, do I need to do it? Do I not need to do it? It's not so much need to or not need to. It comes down to, like you said, it comes down to context, whether they should or whether they don't really need to, if it's not really worth doing. Because like what Briggs said, a lot of the times if you're practicing full range of motion with slightly heavier loads over time, your mobility will get better anyway. Like, it's essentially, you're essentially overriding that safety mechanism that's built into your body to stop a muscle going through a bigger range of motion to the point where it strains or it pulls. So you're constantly just overriding that. So yeah, I think it depends. I think it's definitely worth throwing in there. I'm trying to slowly do more stretching just because it makes me feel good. And the more I train, the more I feel like I'm stiffening up. So it kind of makes me feel like I'm balancing out, whether that's from a physiological standpoint or whether that's just a placebo psychologically. I don't really care. Yeah. It's more of how it makes me feel. So
yeah, so I'm the same. Like, I agree with pretty much both exactly what you guys said. The reason I started doing it is like, it's my time by myself, and it's time to settle, like, just to be calm. So like, I use like the Pliability app, which used to be Romward.
Yes, I used to use Romward as well.
Yeah. So it's called Pliability now. And it's actually like 20 to 30 minutes. The guy like speaks over it. He's got a nice deep voice. And I feel like it's almost like my form of meditation. Like, I can't really sit there and meditate. My mind wanders.
Perfect.
But when I stretch, it's like I'm getting two birds, one stone. I get to meditate.
That's mad.
In a way, plus a bit extra stretching, and mainly pretty much for my health.
Some of them they're like holding it for like 4 minutes.
Like, some of it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, I remember doing Wrongword. I think Nick Newman gave me access to it.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're doing that, like, is that making your life worse by doing
Exactly.
that? You know, like, when you look at it from that, in terms of the investment of time that you do, if you're sitting there watching TV and you decide to stretch as opposed to sitting there, if it's not making your life inherently like worse, then like, why would you not do
that's
it?
like a lot of fitness questions I like get with people, especially like nutrition wise. And
Totally.
It's like, oh, should I have apple cider vinegar in the morning and stuff? I'm like, well, is it going to take years off your life? No, then yeah, why not try it?
Yeah, it's like the best answer is that it was always like, it depends, right? Because it's so individualized.
Yeah.
But if it's limiting you, if whatever it is limiting you in your quality of life, then definitely. And then like on the sporting side of things, I think those sports that are very dynamic, like your gymnastics and all that sort of stuff, like that is like embedded into their training.
Yeah.
So it's so important for them to have that maximal range pretty much in every joint.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's impacting your quality of life, then it's probably a good idea.
That's what I mean. It comes down to the demands of the sport. Like, if I go to Muay Thai and I'm there and I'm sparring with someone and they have more mobility than me and they can kick me in the head without breaking technique and without breaking a sweat, and I struggle to get my leg up there, it's got nothing to do with my ability to produce power or not having the strength to do it. It's like, well, I can't get my leg up there. So if mobility is going to help me get to a range where that's going to improve my overall performance and technique, then yeah, I'd throw it in.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, do some movements and it's like, I can't hold this for this long. So clearly it's a weakness.
Yeah, true.
Because it's like,
Most guys can't sit cross-legged for like 2 minutes.
To be completely honest with you, I find it, I'm at the stage of training now where I find it so impressive where you see people with a decent amount of muscle mass, but they can move through like massive ranges of motion. I find that so impressive because typically the bigger people get, the more restricted they get, which then when I look at that as a quality of life thing, I don't want my body to become more restricted. I want the muscle mass to be there for a strength and longevity perspective and for performance based off what I want to do. But I don't want to get to the point where my muscles can't go through ranges of motion that I can no longer get into, that the risk for injury starts increasing massively then too, because if I exceed past the range that I'm comfortable in, I'm gone.
yeah, it's a great point.
So
Building robustness.
yes.
If people want to get more mobile, what do you guys recommend?
He's the man to talk to.
What's the app?
Pliability.
Pliability.
I like that. There's GoWOD, which I think GoWOD, Fraser and T Clay 2 and stuff is sponsored
There's
by.
Ron's muscle therapy. Oh yeah, Reece Jones.
You can go see Reece.
Yep.
I wasn't even going there with that, but that's hilarious.
good.
He actually fucking sorts my hips every couple of weeks.
He's given me a couple of good mobility drills to do after like our massages too, to work on, especially like through my thoracic spine and stuff like that, which has helped heaps. Not with my golf swing, but everything else.
Well, you still haven't used the gift that I got, yeah.
No help in that. Yeah, we haven't set it up yet. Anyway.
There's no we haven't set it up. It's I said bring in a golf club and have a go.
Yeah.
And you clearly don't care about it, so I'm taking it.
It's on the to-do list, brother. It's on the to-do list.
I've been busy.
I've been busy. Flat stick, mate. You've been in Melbourne throwing chat at people and shit. Fucking Northern Beaches, bro. You expect me to set up the golf course? Let's do it. Come off it, brother.
Chris, I know you listen to this. Bring in your pitching wedge. It's awesome.
Yeah, he'll show us up, eh?
We'll have a bit of fun.
Nah, yeah, he'll show us up. There's no one. Actually, speaking of pitching wedges,
Oh, just quickly.
in a pitching wedges.
Oh, yeah. You are, which I'll get back to because it just came in my head. For our members that want to get more mobile, though, it's in our app.
Studio programs.
Oh, it is actually. Yeah, Reece.
Yes, we've built out a couple of mobility drills that
You
you
can add
can.
more. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes worth, I think they're about. So it's not taking a long time out of your day. By the time you boil the kettle and have a cuppa, you're pretty much stretched up. You're good to go.
If you can do the cuppa whilst doing the mobility drills, huge. Free work at the gym.
Firm handshakes.
Actually, firm handshake sounds better.
Yeah, it's on. You get one and you get one.
Speaking of pitching wedges, though, yeah, we went camping, which we spoke about.
Yeah.
Pierce, I got the greatest pitch shot I've ever seen in my life.
Really great shot I'll ever do ever.
Yeah.
My whole life.
And he was
I won't top that.
doing it on one leg. One leg was broken.
And then
minutes to run, bro. Doing a happy kill. I've actually still got problems with my ankle. Like I can't get full range of motion yet. Like it's
You got to see Reece.
If Reece wasn't in a skirt that day and had his camera, that would have been like that, like Michael Jordan frame, you know, shooting that last shot with him
Jumping up.
in the air, and in the dad kit, the New Balances on, they're a little bit too big, the visor. It was all happening, man. That was just a moment in history.
Oh,
Speaking of athletes, I'm now a professional coach of athletes. Been watching the tennis lately, and they just needed to listen to me.
Just quickly, how many games have you watched?
Probably 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, I was going to say if it was under,
No, just this tournament.
if it was under 2, you'd be flirting with it a bit. But yeah, over 2.
No,
yeah,
but
that
in
makes
all
sense.
seriousness though, it can't just be me. But just think I'm a professional tennis coach or whatever sport's on when I watch a couple games. Like Novak Djokovic, best in the world, like miss a shot and I'm like, mate, hit over the net.
Yeah, it's so easy. You just, like the objective is to just hit it over.
Yeah, and then land it in the blue section, sweet.
You've been doing it your whole life.
I told you this story when we were watching the Olympics, and there was the gymnastics, and it got to the beam routine, and girl nearly finished her routine on the beam, and then she fell off, and Molly was like, I don't understand, like that's what they train to do, like just you don't fall off.
Don't take in the account of pressure.
How is that so hard for you to do?
People watching.
Yeah, like she's like, you train, like you've gotten 4 years to train for it and you fall off, like you should just be better at
What are you
it.
doing? Just walking on your hands.
I went out. When I was in Melbourne, my brother came down as well. We got to spend the day together with him and his partner, Ali. And we went out to breakfast and we were sitting there and we were just catching up, having good chats. And Jacob's like, you know what my toxic trait is? And I was like, yeah, here we go. What? And he goes, watching sport and seeing them fuck up and then thinking, like, I could have done that. I agree, though. Yeah. He goes, like, one of the players the other night just didn't make this shot. And, like, Jacob's pretty quick. And Jacob was like,
I could have got there.
like, I would have got to that, I reckon. It's like, shut the fuck up now. But it's so true. Like, I think that all the time.
sideline coach, eh?
Oh, fuck.
Bro, this is huge. This actually ties into something that I'm trying so hard to be more mindful of now. So look, sorry to throw like the females under the bus because I'm sure guys do it too, but this is
ballsy.
Yeah, this happened. You will agree with me once I say it, and I'm sure guys do it too. You're going out for dinner and you go, what do you want? And they go, I don't mind, you choose. And you go, okay, great. You know what? Let's go and get some grilled at Erina. Let's go and get a burger. Don't feel like a burger.
So you actually do care about what the outcome is.
Oh, so you do. So like you do know, oh yeah, I'm not that. Okay, let's go get some guzzi. No, I don't really feel like Mexican. Okay,
Notice Jaden takes Molly to the places where we get discounts.
with the specials, you're going to save money, bro. We're already getting the guests wrong, so you got to save a bit of money. You go, right, we'll go and get steaks, and they just go, fine, yeah. And then you get there and you eat it and stuff, and like, yeah, I didn't really feel like that. And I'm like, okay, if you're going to step up and you're not going to have the balls to make the decision, and someone else decides to make the decision for you, you do not get to come back and then betray that decision and be like, it's the wrong one. And this is the same with like coaching. Like, it's so easy for us to sit there and be like, you should have hit that, bro. You should have like done that. And I'm like, fucking, you get down there and have a fucking crack there.
It's such an like a parent thing too.
Like, if you don't have the balls to go out in the field and like make the plays and handle the pressure and call the shots, but then you're willing to sit back there and like the old chirpy dads, man, in footy, and they're sitting there and you're just like, you're fucking pathetic. I'm like, you get out there, bro. You run 3 steps and you break your leg. Like, be in the position to like play ball or shut the fuck up.
I've actually done that once. I was playing, must have been second grade, I would have been 17. And his dad, like, from a player on my team, was just hurling abuse at me, just like giving it to me. And I got to the point,
Own team.
I walked off, took my jersey off, threw it at him, and said, "You fucking
get
get
out
go
there."
play," and just walked off.
Yeah. Bloody oath, man.
And I was just like,
Nah, well,
Yeah.
just, mate, back in my day, if it wasn't for the fucking injuries and the politics, I'd be fucking playing NRL. I would.
that'll be me in 20 years.
Oh,
Politics,
yeah,
I
mate.
tell ya.
Yeah, just cop a little bit of chat, mate. It's footy. That's what it is. It's like, yeah, there's a bit of chat and then there's doing it for 80 minutes of the game, brother.
Yeah, I was 17. Do you think I played like 3 games the first?
I'm trying to be so much better at that. If I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if I don't have the balls to make a decision in that scenario, then I'm not going to step on the side and then judge the person who is willing to make the decision, because I'm like, that makes me such a fuckwit. Like, if I sit there on the sideline, I'm like,
Be able to back it up.
be able to back it up, bro.
Yeah,
like, just
seriously.
back it up a little bit. Just tell me what you want for dinner.
Please, my bro.
Just tell me what you want.
Molly, just tell him. It's not hard. Just
That was good.
all right. So if you need me at this time next year, I'll be playing at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
So that's,
Anyway, out of that, yeah. You need any tip, any sport. Give me 2
Also,
games.
just on that, like, newfound appreciation of how fucking quick most of those players are and how athletic they are to get to the balls. It doesn't really show it that well. I don't think as well on TV.
According to Jacob, not quick enough.
Yeah. You probably got a wake up call because we had brekkie that morning and then he went into the tennis, so he probably got a wake up call.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize how like crazy athletic they were until
Insane.
you like properly think about it, right? So it's like they're given 100% effort for, you know, a rally can go from 10 to 3 minutes, right? So it's just like max effort, power, speed, but sometimes they can do it for 5-6 hours.
Insane.
I'm like, that's
The Demon,
Proper.
that went full 5 sets and it was like, I was like, you could tell they were blowing it.
And the constant acceleration, deceleration too, like how quick
Just
they
how
have
to
to get
stop.
across the court and then to come to a complete dead stop and then get back to the middle and then anticipate, like react to it over and over and over. Like, I think reaction time heavily ties into like energy levels and how switched on you are. And the more depleted you get, your reaction time gets worse, clearly. Like, for them to be able to be so switched on like that for hours is absolutely insane.
It's the people like Djokovic, like he's like he's won the most Grand Slams now.
Yeah.
Like to be on top for that long,
Crazy.
to be that good,
I
like
wish I got to watch him.
wild. Hey,
Or tickets to represent or pay our respects to our countrymen.
yeah, because he played earlier that day, didn't he?
Yeah, same day.
Oh well.
Get it on the
Well,
big job sometimes.
That you do, don't you? That you do.
All right, I think
that us?
we'll wrap it up on that one.
Yeah, that's us, I think.
That was
Well, no, a bit of time.
Love it. Love this. Love spending time with the boys.
I feel like
and the
it's
girls.
ages.
and
Time with you is
It's all right.
timeless.
sorry when Claire comes.
And also time well spent.
Time well spent.
Claire might have to.
Yeah,
come
Claire's
into
going to
the
be
Subaru.
stepping in.
I love Chris, but I don't know if he's got the facilitating skills like Pierce does. No. I reckon Claire's got it.
Claire will
Yeah, nah.
be heads in.
Chris will be like, yeah, what do you want to chat about? Just heaps chill.
We're going to come out with some deep stuff. If she sits there and she's like, so what's on your mind? I'm like, oh, shit.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm so upset.
All right. Thanks for listening. If you haven't signed up to the gym, fuck you. Nah.
Do it. Like, just do it now. Like,
Nah.
act a non-verbal. Like, what are you sitting there talking about it for? Just
Just do it. Well,
Take two.
take two. If you haven't signed up to the gym, I think we still have spots available, do we?
Yeah, a couple. Come see us.
Yeah, just do it. They're filling up.
Yeah, well, we had this like capacity number of 50, but like we're at it and the gym's still flowing. So we're going to continue to take on members until that's probably at that point.
100 million.
100 million billion. But if you do want more information, info@thehybridhq.com.au is our email if you just want to say hey, pop some questions in there. Or if you like to take initiative, which we love people that take initiative,
Acting on Verba.
jump onto our website, which is thehybridhq.com.au. Or if you're in 2024 like we are, because that's what year it is, just jump on Instagram. Everything's on there. The top 3 posts on our page break down our 3 membership tiers: Hybrid Everyday, Hybrid Plus, and the Hybrid Premium.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is one take from the man, the master, Mr. Briggs himself. Fantastic, mate. Rolled off the tongue so smooth.
See ya.